right? Oh, thanks.
I don't want you to say anything else good.
But the whole idea is, we talk about being there. That's most important, right? Show up, be there when they're ready to buy. So follow up is key, continually showing up all the time, be there. Second is be good. So kind of work on the skill set, work on becoming better at what we do. And then the last piece of that is be different. Right. So if you're there and you're showing up a lot, you're going to get sales. If you're good with the skill set showing up, you're going to get better results. But if you're also different, like if I got something different to say, I'm going to get even better results. So that's kind of the third thing in our wheel is be different. And that's where the USPs, the worry-free listing, the buyer advantage program, even for your past clients in your sphere, having a raving fans program where you're giving them cool things all the time. You're giving them events. You're letting them borrow your moving truck. You're giving them margarita machines and folding tables and chairs and whatever they want to borrow from you. It's like, if you can create a program that loves on your database, you'll get more from the database. That is a differentiator, right? We got so much business from stinking moving trucks. I think it's the cheapest rolling billboard you could ever pay for. Francis, you live in Southern California. I don't know what a billboard runs down there, but I'm guessing it's like $3,000 to $5,000 a month for a billboard. It's crazy, right? What is a moving truck going to cost you? $800 a month maximum, tax, insurance, more, payment on the truck, the whole thing. You can wrap a truck with your face on it and loan it out to clients, and that's a rolling billboard. Francis Mauser, she's driving all over town. We really move you. We'll give you a moving experience. I could go on for days, but no, I think just having something that makes us different is important. So yeah, the buyer advantage program, it hits on a lot of things that we do anyway, but it sexies it up and it makes it sound cool and it defines the program so that when they do business with you, they can see, here's what I'm going to get. Right? You may have showing partners anyway, but by having a showing anytime program, you're saying that I'll never be too busy that you miss out on the house of your dreams because it comes on the market and I'm too busy to show you. So we have a showing anytime program that any of our agents will show you that house at a time that's convenient for you. When you want to see it, that's when you're going to go see it. Right? I think that's cool. And it just gives you something to talk about. One of the most critical things in that whole thing is the love it or leave it guarantee. It's that you buy a house from me, and if you're going to sell it for any reason in the next 12 months, we will sell it for you for free. Meaning we're not going to take a listing side commission if you need to sell it for any reason in the next 12 months. Now, flippers aside, we're not doing this for investors, but for Bob and Mary who moved into their house and now got relocated with their job, or the military is transferring them to another base. Yeah, absolutely. We will list and sell their home for no listing side commission. We still have to charge a buyer agency fee, but not for the listing side. Right. And I think that's a big one. So when you start talking about, they can fire us anytime, the love it or leave it guarantee that they can, sell their home in the first 12 months at no expense to them on the, for a listing commission. Those are big. If you start throwing in a moving truck, like free moving truck, free moving boxes, that's even more. Now, for those who don't yet have a moving truck or that's not in the plans yet, throw in moving vouchers, right? Give them a voucher for Penske, give them a voucher for U-Haul so that they can get all the stuff to the storage unit and declutter their house prior to listing. Right? Or give them a voucher to move to their new home if it's a local move.
Mike, how much would you suggest the voucher be?
Typically for a local move with U-Haul, I mean, I haven't done it in a while, but I'm going to guess it's under $100.
Really? Okay.
You know, so if it's a local move, you know, couple of days with U-Haul is can't be more than $100.
Yeah, we were looking at $100 because they even allow for boxes and other shipping supplies and stuff. So even if they don't need the truck, they have the ability to still get some supplies. And then one of the things too that we were talking about last time, Mike, that I dove into is the branded boxes.
Yep.
That was relatively affordable. And then that label thing that you can actually customize, like that is like money. I forget what it's called right now. It was they allow you to brand it really easily. Your faces on all the little stickers that can kind of be scanned to tell them what's in the boxes so that they can coordinate.
That is so cool. And I like that thing you were telling me about. If you come up with the app name later, let me know. But what was so cool about that is that we can kind of one up what we used to do. We used to provide the little stickers and it have our logos on the sticker. And on the sticker, you could write in like what's in the box or what room it's in, right? There's a place to write that in. And then we give them branded markers, like permanent markers, and then have our logos on it. But when you take that to the next level with this app you're talking about, the people literally take a picture of what's in the box and then attach it to that sticker with that QR code. And so now they know exactly what's in every box without having to open every box, which was super cool. I like that. And I think there was an opportunity for you to do some like co-branding or something with it or white label it. I'm not sure. Yeah, if you come up with the app name again later, let me know.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm looking it up right now. And yeah, we could customize it. And it's actually kind of cool because this particular app has 2 package options for the branding. You have one, which is just like 1 or 2 sheets just to use as almost like a business card kind of pop by, like networking kind of thing. And then they have one that was like a 10-sheet pack where that would be more for actually for moving. So it's kind of cool that they've thought through it a little bit.
Yeah, very cool. For those of you who have been through, I know you guys have been through the Team Business Mastery program when we did the full like 12-week program. We're going to be redoing that, and it's probably going to start the 1st of June. So those of you who want to go through that whole program again from A to Z, soup to nuts, we're going to do that with you again. Gives you a great chance. It's a great refresher anyway, but just to go through and do the homework again, just do a quick check-in with all the different pieces of the business. If you have key leaders, bring them on the call. If you have an ops manager or some key leader, get them on the call, because a lot of the to-do items are going to be your ops manager. That's the one that's got to do that. Right. I don't want it to be on you to have to tell them what to do right after the call. It'd be great for you guys to both hear it and then both go execute that in your weekly leadership meetings. But we're going to announce that. And if you have any teams that are in your group that want to be a part of this, make sure that you tell them about it so that we get them enrolled, we get them their Kajabi logins and all that good stuff. I want to get them logged in so that they have access to it as well. But we're going to give you guys at least a 4-week notice here before we roll that out. But here, 1st of June, it's going to be our plan to roll out the next like full 12-week series on Team Business Mastery.
Is it going to be on Tuesdays?
No, it's going to be on this Wednesday call.
Oh, Wednesday. That's what I meant. Wednesday. Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
Yeah, this exact same time slot every Wednesday. Here's the thing. It's like when we first rolled this out, it was, hey, thanks. Appreciate that, Tammy. Yeah, definitely. You got a lot of team leaders in your group, so everybody needs to be jumping on that. And it's a commitment. I mean, it's no joke. You're going to be sitting butts in seats for 90 minutes. Your head's going to be, throbbing because it's a lot of information, and you have homework. But for the people who have gone through that, I can tell you it's made a world of difference in their business, especially if they've committed to the homework and done it. Because those exercises in there, they kind of force you to do the work, each week. And I've coached a lot of people who have even been through bits and pieces of the program, and then we come back to some of the same problems. In fact, I'll pick on a couple of people, not by name, but just last week, I was talking to some people who have been with us for a couple of years and been through the program, and yet they're not doing some of the basic fundamental things that we talk about. And it's like, if you don't get some of the fundamentals right, you're not going to have what's necessary to run a profitable real estate team. If you screw up the compensation plan, you're not going to make it. If you're a 90% buyer business, you're not going to make it. If your cell phone is still the phone that everybody's calling when they need you, you're not going to make it because you're too distracted, right? So all these different bits and pieces of the business model are really important. And so go through the refresher, participate in the program when we roll that out again in June, and invite people to it. So you got a team leader in your group that needs to be in there, or somebody who wants to start a team, have them do that. Thanks, Courtney. That app that she's talking about was called Tote Scan. Thank you. So Tote Scan, and that was basically a app for free moving boxes. If you give out free moving boxes to your clients as part of the value proposition of working with you guys, we were talking about the Buyer Advantage program. If you're giving away a free moving truck or free moving truck vouchers or free moving boxes as part of your value stack, that app allows them to take a photo of the open box to see what's in it, and then put that QR code on the sticker on the outside of the box. And so that's pretty slick little deal. But it's called Tote Scan, and Kara put a link in it. So thank you. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Parnell, Chris, good to see you grinning. I got some magic stuff to talk with you about, man. But I want to just kind of preface a little bit of that by saying that this is something that just came back from the VAs, so I haven't had a chance to cutify it yet. So there's some stuff I want to tweak on it, but at least it'll give you a good start for a recruiting webinar. A little, like, think of it like a 15-20 minute max career webinar for anyone who comes to you through WiseHire, anybody who comes to your recruiting landing page, that they can either show up and to your landing page and watch a recording of it, or you invite them to maybe a live weekly presentation of a webinar that's a team presentation. It's not about EXP. It's not, it's not a recruiting for people outside your team. It's literally just trying to take a struggling agent or a new agent or someone who's thinking about getting into real estate and telling them why most agents fail and why they should be joining a team. That's like the nuts and bolts of it, in short. It really doesn't go into splits. It doesn't talk to them about anything else. It just gives them the psychological hurdle to get over, like tells them how hard it is to be successful in real estate, what the failure rate is, what the average income is for these agents, and then why most agents aren't successful, and then what we do for agents to help them be successful. And then if at the very end, it just says, if you're interested in taking the next step and to be considered for applying for our team, schedule a strategy call. And then they can book a call right there on your calendar link. So anyway, I want to go through that later with you, Chris. I don't know what your day looks like today, but I got one opening if we can make that happen.
Just tell me when it is.
Cool. I got an opening today at your Pacific time. Let's see here. Sorry for sideline conversations, guys, but so 4 o'clock my time, which is 1 o'clock your time.
It's fine. Just send the invite.
Cool.
I'll clear out the it's just, yeah, I can do the REO training later.
All right, cool. Yeah, so we'll do a quick meetup this afternoon to kind of finalize that. My hope is for the benefit of everybody is that I want to kind of tweak that a little bit. And then this first one here, Chris, was done just for you. And then everybody else, we could just kind of swap out your photo, swap out your logo, change a few colors or something. And then you got your own presentation. The whole idea of this, again, is have some way of automating and doing it in group sessions, what you normally would do over the phone or on a first interview. Like, I want to get people interested and indoctrinated into what a team is and why they should join a team before they have their interview.
Yep, I like it.
Right? So a little video sales letter in your landing page of a previous recording, and then a once weekly or twice weekly live call, which I think, Tammy, you would rock that for the grant group up there in the Twin Cities. So I'd love to get your feedback on that once we kind of bless it, Tammy, just to kind of have you see that. So-
We're actually kind of doing it already. I do it one night a week and
cool.
2 Saturdays. And so because there's only one of me, I guess I checked that. And I'm actually doing it with a lender now as well for first time home buying. I just don't have an extra 6 hours in a week to give an hour or 45 minutes or even a half hour to somebody. And I know that everybody on that call, on this call, that doesn't sound selfish. That's just self-perseverance.
Yep.
So I get them all into a group. I'm like, all right, you're calling today. You're coming through Wise Hire. You're coming through our pay-per-click, your whatever. You guys are all slotted for Thursday or Saturday. Pick one. Done.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want people who are leaning in, like the ideal candidate for someone who is coming to apply for our team is someone who's leaning in, they're resourceful, they're hungry, they're seeking. Now, in all fairness, the people coming through Wise Hire aren't necessarily just coming to you. Like
Right.
they're applying for a job at Avis Rent-A-Car, they're applying for a job at, such and such accounting firms. Like, they're not necessarily just applying for us. And so when we get them through Wise Hire, if we can send them, it may be in an automated way or otherwise, send them an invite to a landing page and an invite to a scheduled weekly like live webinar, and we put them into like a drip sequence where they get invited to the weekly, career webinar, that will help you to automate the funnel a little bit at the very top. So at the very top, it'll help us screen and pre-qualify and pre-sell those people, because we do have to chase them a little bit to get them interested and get them to sort of like be aware of our opportunity, prior to an interview. I don't want to waste a whole hour trying to talk someone into getting a real estate license or talk them into joining a team when they should be an independent agent. I want them to kind of be pre-sold on that already. So yeah, I would love your
That's
feedback on that, Tammy, when I'm done.
That's what we do in the funnel. So if they come in through, let's just say what I like to call a netting, opportunity where they're just putting in their information and this and that, they will get a video text that automatically goes out from me. Then I leave it up to them to set up in a Calendly when they can speak. That is about a 20-minute conversation. And from there, I am kind of the catch-all, like, are you in this bucket? Are you in this bucket? Are you in this bucket? And then they go from there. If there's somebody that just has to apply for a job because they got unemployment benefits, they are off the radar. If they are somebody that's a seasoned agent, they get a different campaign. If there's somebody that's a new agent, then they're in this bucket. And then they just keep moving down the deal. If there's somebody that I'm very interested in, and of course, I'm going to stop, drop, and give them some, more information and some more me time. But otherwise,
Love that.
they're checking the boxes on, and that shows me what their commitment level is and how hungry they are. And go from there. If they're just a kid out of high school that's looking for whatever, I mean, we got a lot of young kids. Some of them are making it and some of them are going back and finding jobs. So
Yeah, and we want the only way that someone's going to be successful in real estate, the only way they have a prayer of being successful in real estate is to give this 100% focus. Like, if they have other affections, other interests outside of real estate, and it's like they have to go work another job, it's so hard. The chances of them ever making it to full-time are slim to none.
Mm,
There's a rare exception to that, but it's slim to none. Okay, so I like the way you're segmenting those people, because that allows you to sift and sort quickly the ones that are actually able to be full-time, to be committed, to have this be their only affection, and not have any other love interests, if that makes sense. So, Tammy, I'm gonna put you on the spot for just a second. Would you mind either next week or the week after? I don't know what your Wednesdays look like, but I would love for you to do, people who don't know you, I would love for you to like work with me and do a little bit of a training on just what you do in your weekly role as a recruiter, because that's, you're kind of the director of sales, director of agent growth there with Grant Johnson's group. And a lot of people are thinking about hiring a full-time recruiter. I know, Francis, we're working on that right now. And other teams are thinking about having a directors of agent growth in that position. I'd love to just hear how and have you unpack what you do, how you do it, including your WiseHire follow-ups. I know you, one time you shared with us like how you do your little video text. You send them a little video text as part of the follow-up with WiseHire. But if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
I'd
we
love-
can, yeah, we'll touch base after this and we'll put something on the calendar. Mine is just a real mix of human psychology and getting to the point where it has to be a fit for our culture and, the steps. And it all comes down to making sure selfishly that my time is used in my highest gain activity, which you already know, Mike, it's always not. But we're getting there, and our growth right now, we have a unique problem that teams go through. We are having growth, and we're having to go back to our staffing aspects and some of our value propositions on those things too, to make sure that the right seats are covered. So I'd love to do that to help and give my 2 cents on what's really great to do and some of the great fail forwards that I've had.
I would love that. I would love it if you could kind of unpack what you do and how you've been successful. For those of you who don't know, she's currently, director of growth. I think your title is, might be sales manager, but basically you're in charge of all the agent side and the growth side of the business. Recruiting is your main shtick, recruiting and retention and agent development. So I would love to hear what you have.
Well, and right now for people, I mean, and you know this, Mike, for another few months, it has all had to be organic.
Yeah, I mean, you're
And
still.
so if I can do this organically, wait till next year.
Yeah.
Look out.
Well, look out, Twin Cities. I tell you, Edina's going to be struggling. Yeah, because she was I don't know how many years you were there, but you were 20 years with Edina Realty in the Twin Cities as one of their managers, one of their top managers. So, and she's sitting on a 2-year non-compete where she can't call or talk to at all any Edina realtors. So
Or I can't market at all public facing wise
really
to anything.
not
Yeah.
at all. On the
Yeah,
off
so this has been all organic, the growth that we've had over the last year.
Wow. So it's all just belly to belly making phone
Yep.
calls. Oh, good for you.
Yep. Lots
Well,
of chai teas.
Yeah, and you guys are your agent growth, your agent count is really great. I'm extremely pleased with seeing the way you guys are growing. So
Yeah. I think Eric's on this call too. So he was
awesome.
from Edina as well. So he knows how it works. And I can probably think about the laugh that he's doing right now on the other side of his screen there.
Well, for those of you who don't know my whole story, when I joined EXP, it was the month after my 2-year non-compete ran out from the sale of my company. So I'm completely aware of how that works. So you gotta
Not fun, but take the high road. The high road the whole time. It's a little lonely up there, but you know what?
Yeah,
It'll be a great Christmas gift this year.
it will.
And we'll find what works over the next couple Wednesdays. I'll text
Yeah.
you.
Sounds good. Yeah, and look out, because I think the combination of just being able to have the gloves off with your recruiting efforts, in combination with what you're currently doing, and maybe finding ways to automate some of that with landing pages and recorded webinars as well, may help you guys, level that up even better. So cool. And I know Francis, the gentleman that we're going to be talking to this afternoon, I know he has an event background, doing events and masterminds as part of his recruiting efforts. So I think that's another great way to do recruiting is just put on, how to be successful in real estate events or career nights, as you will, if kind of the old school, the old school recruiting methods is you hold a once or twice a month career night. Hey, thanks Parnell for sending me that email. It sounds like you guys are already kind of doing something similar to this. Tell me what kind of success you're having with this.
Well, when we were using it, we had a lot of success. That's how we got those 12 agents in about 30 days to join the team.
Beautiful.
And then with all the chaos that we had when our agents started leaving because they didn't want to show up for work anymore during 2022, we are just now restarting to use that. So, and some of it's stolen from you, just so you know, it's just reorganized. So
Repackaged and cutified. I like it. Yeah, I'm recognizing this start slide.
yeah,
All the stages of team development in there. I love it.
I just want you to know your coaching works.
Well, that's the name of the game is rip off and duplicate, right? R&D, rip off and duplicate. That's what this is all about. Find people who are good at certain things. And this is a great topic, I think, for our group. Don't be afraid to go out and seek out experts in a particular field, whatever that might be. If you want to be get lots of business from YouTube, go find yourself a YouTube coach or find yourself a coach or some training from people who are killing it on YouTube. Right? If you want to be great at building an ISA team, go seek out people who are successful already at building great ISA teams. Obviously, there are great people in our group already who are doing that at a high level. But don't be afraid to do that because you're not going to necessarily get the depth on a technical level. You're going to get the strategies, but the technical assistance you're going to need to actually execute something at a high level, you may need to seek out or pay somebody to do something else for you. Like I always had 2 or 3 different coaches for our business doing different aspects of it. Right. For example, you could hire the EOS coaches for helping you run your an effective management system. Or the Gazelles, which are the ones that we used years ago. The Gazelles and the EOS are great, but that's not going to help you teach you how to market for listings. But it's going to teach you how to run a company. Right? It's different. You're going to need help in sales skills training that you can leverage people who are great at training, like on scripts and dialogues and mindset around prospecting. That's completely different than training on marketing. It's completely different than training on team building, which is what I do. Completely different than training on, running an effective company, and being a strategic business owner. Right. So there's a lot of, I guess my point is there's a lot of different disciplines that you have to be able to bring into the team model. Right. You're not just an agent. You're trying to run a business and businesses have marketing, they have sales, they have recruiting, they have, operations. There's all these different pieces. There's finances. And each one of those has an area of learning where you need to go deep. And that's why when we went through Team Business Mastery, those of you who went through that, you guys saw that I was referencing books. I was referencing coaches, referencing programs that you need to go and dive into. And I think that's key because you're not going to get the depth of information you need necessarily from just some of these, high level conversations. You're going to have to take some of that offline. You're going to have to, buy someone dinner, go fly to their office, go spend a week with them or a day with them, or go to one of their seminars. So let me just encourage you, just be a student, always be a student, be a sponge, and just keep learning. So Chris, good to see you, brother.
Yeah, likewise.
What's wrong with you? How's business?
Man, it's busy. It's busy. It's just the same thing, probably what everybody else is kind of facing. On the buyer side, it's a battle,
Multiple offers.
Yeah, multiple offers or buyers are just burnt out pretty quickly. Interest rates are going up so fast, they adjust up. So then the buyer falls off, but you know, the listing side is actually probably what's gonna carry us through. As much as I don't like listings, but I'm making that a strong focus, like we talked about. I think we're probably gonna be at like a 70% list side, 30% buy side this year. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, we've, what is it? We've got 17 listings coming up in 45 days right now.
Beautiful. Great job.
And probably 3 to 5 listing appointments a week. I'm gonna have to start going on them. The agents are starting to get too busy.
Well, and if you're doing business with strangers, they probably need a certain amount of skill.
Oh, no, they use the worry free.
Yep.
And they slay it. Like we follow pretty much what you were talking about. You know, we try to get the listing signed first trip out. But you know, we break it down where we have different, you know, conditioned properties.
Mhm.
Really nice, medium of the road, and shit properties. And then we can have that sit down and go through it with them. And then go over all of our value and push them to sign at that same time. I mean, we're getting 1.5, $1.4 million listings. And the agents have only been working with me for a year.
Wow, that's
And I've only
awesome.
been focusing on listings for 6 months.
Well, I remember when you and I first met, you guys had pretty much exclusively been a buyer agency business.
Oh yeah, no, we crush buyers. I love buyers. So easy.
Yeah.
Sellers, there's a lot of emotional things happening there. So
For sure. And it's a business conversation. So we have to be very consultative and very sensitive because we're talking them out of their money.
yeah, you gotta slow
We're
down.
not selling them on a dream. We're talking them out of their money very often.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a big thing is that it's relationship based, and that's kind of how we go in on it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
we're not worrying about net so much, more about the why and where they're headed and focusing on that.
yeah. Very cool. What are you guys doing to help generate more inventory?
I'm generating probably 500 seller leads a month.
Doing what?
I've got a home value site that's Google PPC, ZBuyer.
Yep.
Expired, canceled, for sale
Yep.
by owners, probate.
What are you doing for probate?
I got a probate attorney I'm working with.
Okay. Are you doing direct mail to reach out to people, or are you just networking with the probate attorney?
Here's what's crazy is so from one of my sites, I think it was Upnest.
Mhm.
Upnest put me in front of this guy, and I've never done probate until this happened. And I went up against 3 other agents that have like experience with doing this, and he liked the worry-free listing. And so now I'm his guy until he retires. So it came through one of the referral sites. I just took it on because like I said, the agents were like way too busy. And I think that's one of the big things that you actually had kept on mentioning is that you still need to practice, you know, unless the business is that strong, which I don't think anybody's business right now is that strong unless you have like a massive team and you have massive expenses that are going out. But you're still gonna have to get into it and get busy. You know, got to lead by example. So
Especially right now. And you got to think about it. Like everybody on the team is looking to us as leaders for someone to mimic or someone to imitate. They need to see it in front of them done before they can duplicate it. Right. As part of that, you know, I do it, we do it, they do it. Too many people try and go from I do it to they do it, and there's no we do it.
yeah, yeah. I fell into that.
Well,
That.
it's so easy to do, you know, but we have to let them see us like crushing it. They need to see what a good listing appointment looks like, what a good buyer consultation looks like, what good phone skills looks like. They need to see what good work ethic looks like. You know, one thing that was, I think that Adam will tell you about the way we did business was that the way we conducted ourselves in our office was we're always urgent. We're always urgent and we're always in a hurry.
Yep.
Constantly. Right. So when you saw Mike Gerbic walking through the office, I looked like I had, you know, a fire under my butt. Like I was walking with a purpose, you know, walking down the hall, like I was stomping down the hall. And You know, and when I pass people in the hallway, I'm giving them a high five as I keep walking. I'm not stopping to
Yeah.
chit-
No small talk.
No, I was like, how you doing, man? Keep crushing it. Love it. Saw you closed one. Good job. Boom. Next. You know, because we're creating we're creating our culture. And I want a culture of high productivity where everyone's crushing it. Everyone's winning. Everyone's busy. You know, people want to work with busy people,
Yep.
you know, and so you got to set that tone, you know, with your team and set those expectations. And in your case, you know, setting that tone with your lenders as well, because they are a part of that ecosystem.
Yeah. Yeah.
We want people who are doing well.
Yeah. I think the other thing that even I fall into this, you know, there's going to come a time where, you know, the amount of energy you have is not always going to be at 112%. And so you got to be okay with taking maybe a few hours off within a day to kind of decompress and rest. I don't like that idea, but got to do it.
It's very hard to take the workaholic out of a workaholic.
It's not work, Mike.
It's that
I know,
age
right?
thing.
It's all fun.
Chris is getting hit with age, man. It's what's happening to him. Just getting older.
F that. Give me some supplements. Give me some peptides. Let's go.
Right? I love me some peptides and supplements.
Yeah.
See our medicine cabinet. It's full. Oh, good stuff. One thing I was going to mention to you guys, and I had the opportunity to work with, and she's not on here today, but Jennifer Kenna's group a couple weeks ago, and Zach's team last week down in Florida, and that was a lot of fun. But it reminded me how so many of just the fundamentals can get lost, or we forget about them, or we skip over a step. And it's important. Something as simple as getting yourself extracted, because I think we all have this need to be needed,
Yeah.
like this need to be in control.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's a trust issue, sometimes it's a perfectionism issue. But that need to be needed and keeping ourselves too involved in everything ends up becoming the governor on the throttle of your business. And it ends up throttling your business and the choke point that starves the engine of gas. If that analogy helps you, it's like we all want to scale up. We all want to make more money per hour and be more productive when we do work, but we're doing things on a daily basis that put us in a place of constant interruption. Oh, I have an open door policy. Well, that's dumb.
Yeah.
You know,
I know.
it's like I used to do the same thing too, but I had no life.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like until you create some boundaries in your life, boundaries on your email, boundaries on your cell phone, boundaries on your physical space, like your office,
Mhm.
that you're never going to be able to be 100% showing up and present on the thing that you want to work on that hour. Right. So your highest priorities end up taking a back seat to all the gotta minutes, all the phone calls, all the interruptions, all the little, it's an Op City lead, or it's a Zillow lead, or it's a home light, something's dinging my phone. It's like you can set up processes and systems and people that keep you in a place of sanity. Because the thing that we all lack in this industry, and it's one of the hardest things to get it back control of, is perspective. We can't get perspective and fly at an altitude that lets us see everything when we're in the jungle. If you're always in the jungle, you can't get up high enough to get perspective on the business. Right? You don't get a chance to work on a recruiting webinar.
No.
Or a funnel or one of the funnels that you have for new construction that you want to roll out, new construction funnel, or a probate attorneys that you want to go and network with probate attorneys to get more and more probate business, right? Or you want to be, have a wholesale division where you're going after motivated home sellers and you're going to start wholesaling properties as well as, getting those listings. so many of these different programs that we want to roll out, we never have time to get to because we're too in the weeds. So getting the keep people around you and creating boundaries. And those boundaries are physical boundaries, those are phone boundaries, and those are people boundaries. Right? A people boundary would be a director of operations. There are some people who are running teams of 10, 20 people who are still doing it without a director of operations. That's hard. Especially if you, the team leader, are the one who has to fill in that gap,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's next to impossible. It's tough to do. Got to get
Chris,
a
I'll
director.
tell you. Oh, sorry, Mike.
Yeah, go
Chris,
for
I'll
it.
tell you that I get where you're coming from because I'm that person. I don't stop. And I started probably just about a year and a half ago. 1 day a week, I am out of the office, period. And this is
Yeah.
how people address me. I'll still take some phone calls. I'll still take some texts, but this is how the phone call starts. And it's usually like, I know it's your day out of the office, but X, I know it's this, but, and so they're all aware, and I created that. It's not that I'm not working, but I have, a couple things I do on that day out. And I basically, take care of a mother and a grandfather and, do some other things. But once you create that boundary, which Mike and I talked about a year and a half, because I had, let's just go with very few, you will get that back. And all of a sudden you're looking forward a little bit to that day, because I knew this morning I could like stop and have my chai tea overlooking a body of water because it just turned to like 60 degrees here in Minnesota.
Express offers platform demo.
And you'll get there and you'll get it, and your team knows it. And you know what your team does? They step up on that day. They step up. They may not on the other days, but they step up on that day, and you look at them and go, man, maybe I should take another day off. And it's not an off day. It's just a day where you're not sitting in front of the firing squad.
Yeah. We had this conversation, me and Danielle, this morning, because I kind of do it, but not really. But we're gonna kind
You
of,
should just do it.
no, I know. She's already kicked me in the butt this morning.
Let's do a side bet. Let's do a side bet. Pick a day and start.
Come
Come on. What do you got?
Yeah, Fridays. I'll do Fridays.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna text you. So is Mike.
All right. That's a half. We're starting with a half day, not the full day.
Oh, here we go.
Here come the excuses.
Yep, here comes all the boundaries, but
That's a great analogy you put in the chat, Tammy. Like recharge yourself like you do your devices. That is so important. I even told my agents,
Yeah, that's super smart.
especially when people are in desperation mode. It's just like, it's 90 to nothing the whole day, from 8 to 8. They're 12-hour, 16-hour days as a real estate agent because they're just desperate.
Yeah.
The problem is they can get some great momentum like that, and they can get out of a hole that they dug themselves in that way. But they got to learn to start spacing in some days off, like take off Sundays or take off Saturdays, or have a dedicated day that is a family day that you don't work at least 1 day a week. Like even if you're an agent on your team, it's like compartmentalize all of your showings into the other 6 days, but take a day off. Right. And then what I used to teach people is to go on 90-day sprints. So let's just say one weekend of the month, take a weekend, like a whole weekend. So out of the 4 weeks in a month, most months, let's work 3, and then take 1 completely off. Right? Because your family needs that. Otherwise, you're going to have other problems other than just real estate. Right?
Yeah.
Your family needs that. But then once every 90 days, take a week off. Or take a long weekend, like 5 days. Right? It takes, and just that perspective where you get to take a step back, that's that recharging that we're talking about. Now, you guys as team leaders, you're going to have more time off than you think, because your time off is still going to be noodling up here.
Right.
right? Because you're still working when you're not working, when you're out. And that's good. Like the downtime, you know, taking care of your physical fitness, going on jogs, doing yoga, taking days off, all that allows your brain to process problems and think about things and digest podcasts, and just you're just being a sponge that the rest of the time you have to actually go execute. But you do need that downtime. Good stuff. You
I'll
will
put- I'm
find
gonna
out
put-
what is missing if you take days off and no one can reach you. This is true. This is
No, I mean,
true.
it's, they handle it. I think what happens is we get into a systematic way of working or doing things, and then we get comfortable. And that comfortability is what the killer is. You can't be comfortable doing the same thing over and over again. And if it's not good for you, it's gonna eventually tear you down.
Hey, Chris, here's something that I've always used. And it's super elementary. I use it with my kids too. They hate it. We are all control freaks in what we do and what we're building and what we're trying to attain and what we're trying to support.
Mhm.
We do things a certain way. We know that if we walk into an appointment, a consultation, 99.9% of the time, we're going to walk away with conversion. And as we're putting our teams in those situations, I say this a lot. So what is 4 + 5? It's 9.
9. Yeah, 9.
What's 6 + 3?
9.
Also
Yeah.
9, right?
Yeah,
Did
yeah,
did you and I get there 2 different ways? Yep.
I like
You
that.
know?
Yeah.
And so we have to step back and know that, there's going to be times where we're going to have one of our staff, our team members, somebody in our leadership team be able to fail forward, and we're going to have to watch. And it is draining emotionally. We want to go ahead and step in and be the one, because we are the one that does it. We are the one that can get it done. We are the one. And then at the end of the day, we're pissed off at somebody else because they didn't do it the way we would have done it, but they got to the same result. And that's where it goes back to that recharging. Like if your phone goes dead today, your iPad, your laptop, man, we are searching like scavengers for a charger. But we look at ourselves at the end of the day and we try to lay ourselves on our head on the pillow, and our mind keeps going for about, 3.5 more hours, so just create the habit. It took me a really long time. It took me almost 20 years in this business to finally realize WTF. And now I am living it. And I'm telling you, there are days that, yes, I want to claw somebody's eyes out and throat punch them. That's okay. That just happens. But take the advice. Eric's still on here, so he knows that. Take the advice and just start with a little tiny bit and do it. And that's for everybody. And not that each one of our ways is doing it, but we're all super high strung, atypical, go people that have extremely high standards for other humans. I'm telling you, sometimes those standards cannot be met. And
Yeah.
we internalize that then. We internalize it and we take it in as stress and anxiety. And how can I make them do this? Why aren't they doing it this way? And I'm telling you guys, shit can that line of thought.
That's good wisdom there.
There's my 2 cents for the day.
70% of you, Tammy, is a absolute rock star. 70% of Chris Gurney is a stud, right?
The other 30%, we're a hot mess.
I'm just saying, if I can get 70% of Chris's results and Chris doesn't have to know about it, do it, hear about it, have anything to do with it, that's a win. That's a W. That wins championships, right? But for us to sort of hold that standard of perfection is really an illusion, because there's no such thing. Like your way isn't the only way. I like that you said that. Thank you, Tammy. Like our way isn't the only way. In fact, the growing process that you let your leaders go through is necessary. And I think too many of us handicap our people, or we don't have leaders who step up in our company to give us freedom that we want because we don't
Mhm.
let them lead. We try and band-aid it or crutch it, be their crutch.
We
You
have a
know?
26-year-old right now and a 19-year-old that are bringing unbelievable energy to the team in an employee situation, that are bringing new ideas, and they are looking at me, I'm 53, looking at me and going, hey, just sit back, I'll get this done, it'll be fine for you, let's make it happen. And I am sitting back, and as the kids say now, cringing, I'm cringing a little bit, but I'm like, holy crap, they got this done, they got this whole system built out in 3 days. Like, okay. And part of me is like, I feel stupid, but guess what? I just said, not my lane. That's not my gig. You go ahead and do it. It would have taken me 6 months. It took this chick 3 days. I'm like, okay, fine. So that's where it comes in, where you got to be able to receive
Mm.
and still put forth.
Yeah, 100%. It's like if you can let go of more. I remember it was Deepak Chopra. He said, "Let go of your outcome, and you will have more income." Right. And so if you just can help communicate the vision with people and surround yourself with good people, they will help you get there. But it may not be the level of detail that you want to be involved. That's okay.
Yeah.
Especially if you surround yourself with good examples for them to copy from, or
Yes.
good coaches that they can mimic or that they can learn from. It's like, I can delegate the vision and I can provide the resources and then sit back. Most of the time, you're going to be able to do the 10-80-10 delegation method, which is simply 10% in the beginning to communicate the vision. 80% in the middle, you don't know anything about it because you're not involved. And then 10% at the end is to give your blessing. Right. And that's with, launching new programs, launching new products, new initiatives in your team. Like, you can delegate most things in your company that way. Communicate the vision with people, let them do it, and then give them some feedback later. Right. But it doesn't involve us micromanaging. I think that's the death of us as team leaders mentally.
Yeah.
So well, it's good to see everybody. Thanks for chiming in, everybody. Francis, you gonna stick around for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to chat with you after this.
Okay. Awesome.
we'll
Thank you
stop there
guys.
for a
That was great.
Yeah.
All right.
That's great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody.